So step one always is to prepare the skin for makeup. I love going in with my Glossier Milky Jelly Cleanser to cleanse my skin. This is such a moisturizing and smooth cleanser. It honestly is my favorite cleanser I've ever used. My skin feels clean and moisturized, and that is what I look for in a cleanser, and so it just does the job. So I've repurchased it, and I really enjoy this one. Then I like to follow up with my Glossier solution. This just preps my skin for makeup because it's really exfoliating any of the dead skin and making sure I give myself a nice, glowy, smooth base. And I always splash my face with water after going in with my Glossier solution just because I don't like the glycerin sticky feeling on my skin before I go in with moisturizer. So I splash my face with water and then I feel ready to moisturize my skin, and so I'm just going in with my facial oil. And now my skin is all prepped and ready for makeup. Now, one of the products I don't use is the Glossier Priming Moisturizer. It actually broke me out. It is a really great moisturizer though, and has a really nice base for the skin. It's very smoothing. There definitely feels like there's a little bit of a silicone in that primer. But for me, it just didn't work. If you're curious about it, you should definitely give it a try. I just didn't enjoy it. So I am just going to go in with a luminizing primer, and I'll have all the products that I use listed down below. So I was actually inspired to make this video because I was watching Raw Beauty Christy do her video of trying a bunch of Glossier makeup, and she was not the biggest fan. And what's funny is she loves full coverage, glam looks, and she freaking rocks it. She is such a talented makeup artist, and I love watching her videos. But I'm the opposite, where for me, when I stretch to do more of like a full coverage glam look, it is a stretch. I more love natural makeup, and I don't even have like perfect skin, but I like letting my acne and freckles shine through. And so I was laughing because she was like, if you have skin that just needs an even skin tone and a bunch of little freckles, Glossier is perfect for you. And I was like, girl, yes, because I like going in with my dewy primer and then just having my skin look really, really dewy. So it's just, that video made me laugh. I'll put it up in the cards. She's stinking beautiful. Like, I don't know why she was complaining so much about her natural skin, because it looked freaking awesome. So there's a couple products from Glossier that I don't have for this full face of Glossier, and I'm so sorry, but I'll make sure that I kind of let you guys know what they are, and I'll try to not use other products if I don't have to. I love going in with my Glossier Stretch Concealer. This is what the packaging looks like. I have scratched up this lid, which is kind of a bummer, but c'est la vie. This is what the inside looks like. It definitely is a more oil-based concealer, which is going to give you a ton of moisture under your eyes, which I love. I find this lasts really well throughout the day, and it does not look greasy. I know it can look really, really shiny and dewy and natural, but when you're in natural lighting, if you're looking at it in a mirror, it just looks like your skin, and so it gives you that perfect skin-like finish. I have found if you put this on your eyelid, it does crease, so I might just use the remnants on my fingertip on my eyelid. But I have found less is more with this concealer. You really don't want to use that much because it does start to look a little bit cakey and you will have issues with creasing. But if you're using just the tiniest bit in a really light hand, you can still build up that coverage, but you won't be so overwhelmed. And I do have a little bit of under eye bags. I did not sleep so well last night. I've been having issues sleeping. I don't know if that happens with you guys. I've been falling asleep. I've been sleeping for probably like 8 hours a night, which is great. But my under eyes are just looking so tired today. So hopefully we can wake them up. The tip of my nose is still a tiny bit sunburned, so I'm going to just go in with a little bit of concealer. And I am using the Glossier Stretch Concealer in the shade Medium. I look super duper pale on camera, but I definitely don't feel like I look that pale in person, but let's be real, I probably do. I just love how natural this concealer is and how you can just really cover up blemishes and it still just looks like your skin. I think that's what I love about this concealer. Like, I don't feel like my skin looks too shiny or greasy. I just think it looks very even. Everything is just kind of covered, which I really, really like. Now I'm going to go in with my Glossier Cloud Paint, and this is in the shade Dusk. I absolutely love this shade. I think it's really, really beautiful for doing a little bit more draping, which is kind of contouring with blush. So I just put a little bit on the back of my hand, and we're going to go in with our fingertips and just kind of blend this out. I have found a little goes a long way. It's pretty much Glossier in a nutshell, is like, just don't overdo it. So Glossier actually doesn't have a, wow, hi. Glossier doesn't actually have a bronzer, which I wish they would just make a cloud paint in kind of a bronzy shade. I think that would be super amazing. For right now, this is all they have, and I love the look it gives to your skin. It definitely looks like you have been in the sun, but I think it looks really, really pretty and really natural. And once it's all blended with Wowder, it'll look a little bit better too. I don't know why my nose is looking so red right here, but we're gonna go over that a little bit with a little bit of concealer. Oh, I was wearing glasses this morning. That is probably why. So Glossier, if you're watching this, please make a cloud paint in the shade bronzer, or medium deep dark bronzer, dark bronzer, light bronzer, bronzer, light medium, fair bronzer. All the shades of bronzer. So this is what my skin looks like with just the concealer and the cloud paint, and I'm really liking it. I think it looks really, really natural and pretty. I do not have the Glossier Lidstar. The whole concept of a lip gloss tube of eyeshadow just made no sense to me. For me, the Lidstar release was just a miss, and they're really expensive. I want to say they retail for like $18 for a single tube of eyeshadow, where I could pick up a Colourpop Super Shock Shadow for $5, and it's gonna do literally the same thing with the same ease of using your fingertip to apply it. So I did not want to pick up the Lidstars. That was something I just didn't think was worth it. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Dusk cloud paint on my eyes to kind of get a little bit of color, a little bit of shadow there. For me, the Lidstars were just such a miss. I think when they came out with the Lash Slick, a lot of people freaked out because it could complete a look. Now, I will say the one product from Glossier that I wish I had and I haven't picked up yet, frankly because of the price, is the Glossier Haloscope. And I know a lot of y'all probably were wanting to see the application of that. But for me, I just feel like the price could not justify the quality of the product. I don't know, I just feel like there's things in this world, like I love highlighting, but I still have my Colourpop highlighters that work really great. I've got a bunch of little minis that I really enjoy too. Also, can we talk about how beautiful the cloud paint is used on the eyes? Okay, can you see me a little bit better? I turned down the brightness. I think it was just a little bit too bright, and this is looking a little bit more like how my skin is looking in real life. So I love how the cloud paint looks on the eyes. I think it just kind of ties everything together and looks really, really natural and really beautiful, and I love it. So I don't have the Glossier Boy Brow. Those are the three products I don't have, would be the Glossier Haloscope, the Glossier Boy Brow, and the Glossier Lidstar. Those are the three that for me have been really, really hard to purchase because I've found products that I really love and that work really well for me that are a third, a quarter, half the price. So I'm just going in with a brow pencil and I'm going to just fill in my brows really quickly. To be honest, the hardest part for me when it comes to brows is that my brows are really, 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 really pale. And so even filling them in like this, like they kind of match my roots, but they still are just a little bit dark. I know, I'm ridiculous. Just let's move on. So we're gonna set the face with the Glossier Wowder. I love this powder. I know it's gotten reviews where it's like, why is it so special? For me, I love it because I don't wear foundation and it gives just the perfect tint. This is in the shade Light Medium. It gives just the perfect tint to my skin that I actually feel like I get a little bit of coverage from this powder. And then it just sets everything and gives everything like a matte satin finish. I feel like so many powders nowadays just give you a matte finish. They don't really have that beautiful dewy look. I've been really curious about that Becca water powder. Makeup is one of those things where it's like, you honestly have to decide if you'd be willing to spend a lot of money on something. And for some Glossier products, I think 100% like 20 bucks for a powder, if this is worth the hype. I've repurchased this a million times and I love this powder. I just think it gives the skin a really gorgeous finish and just kind of evens everything out, especially for my pale skin tone. But some people don't like it. You just kind of have to decide what's it for you. So I'm gonna just go in with the Rose Balm.com from Glossier and give my lips a little bit of hydration. They're feeling a little bit dry. They got sunburn this weekend. My skin actually is looking like it could use like a hydrating face mask right now. We might need to do that. So we don't have the Glossier Haloscope, so I'm going to go in with an Hourglass stick highlight that I think would give a very similar effect to the Haloscope. This is literally why I'm having trouble purchasing products, because I've got stuff in my collection that frankly I need to use up, because as much as I want to buy tons of makeup and as much as I do buy tons of makeup, gotta use stuff up like this first. So I'm gonna just curl my lashes and then we're gonna go in with the Glossier Lash Slick. We're just gonna go in with the Glossier Lash Slick. I do have a full dedicated review to this mascara if you guys want to see that, but I really enjoy this mascara. It does what I need it to do. It gives me a ton of length and a good amount of volume and separation, and I just think it looks really beautiful. So here is one coat. I just feel like it does a really good job of just separating and defining and lengthening my lashes, and it's really easy to apply. Lasts super well throughout the day. Like, I will work out in this mascara and I get no flaking or smudging or anything like that. You know what's crazy, you guys? My nose is looking terrible today from that sunburn. It's just looking a little bit like kind of flaky and dry, which is very unusual for my skin, because you guys know I am definitely more oily, but not today. So now for lips, I'm going in with the Generation G lipstick in the shade Leo. It is just this really pretty kind of, I don't know what you'd call that, like a warm terracotta rose color. If I could go back to the store and purchase a different shade, I would. This color is not the most flattering on my lips. I really love going in with a more purple-based lipstick. I just think it looks prettier on me than like a pink or anything like that. Other people would probably disagree. But this shade is still really, really pretty, and I like that it gives kind of a sheer wash of color, so it's not too overwhelming. On camera, it's looking a lot more red than it is in person. In person, it is definitely more of like this kind of rust color, because even on camera, my skin is looking a lot more pink, whereas in person, it's looking a little bit more yellow toned. I'm gonna just go in with the tissue and just dab off any excess, which will help make this look just a little bit more natural and good with my skin tone. So to finish this look off, I could use their rose spray, which I don't have because again, it's really overpriced. So I'm gonna go in with my Badescu Rosewater spray. So this is the finished look of a full face, kind of Glossier makeup. So I've had a lot of you guys ask for kind of a review, a follow-up. What would I really genuinely recommend? Because I talk about a lot about Glossier and I love Glossier. It's one of my favorite brands, but for me, being more naturally based with my makeup, that is why Glossier is perfect for me. I'm a very like easy, quick, out the door kind of person. 9 times out of 10, this is actually a little bit heavy for me makeup wise. I usually do even less than this on an everyday basis because I really like to keep it simple, although I go heavy on the bronzer. I love bronzer. So when it comes to skincare, I love the Milky Jelly Cleanser and the Solution. I think those two are absolutely beyond fantastic. I've tried the Priming Moisturizer. It really wasn't for me, and I've never wanted to take the time to invest in more of their skincare. I probably need to. I really want to try out a lot of their face masks, their serums, things like that. It's just hard because once I kind of find my basic skincare, I don't want to spread out too far. And so if you guys want more updated skincare, I think you guys have seen enough on my channel of what skincare I love. But my two staple skincare products from Glossier are definitely the Milky Jelly Cleanser and the Solution. I love those. I think 100% the Balm.coms are worth it to check out. I know they retail for, I want to say, about $12 a piece, which is expensive when it comes to a lip balm, but you are getting a ½ an ounce of product, which is a ton. I find that these last a really, really long time. I use this one on an everyday basis, and I'm finally getting to the point where I'm almost done with it, but I probably still have about a month worth of use out of this. They last maybe 6 months, but I love the rose and I love the birthday cake one. I think those two are absolutely fantastic. I really want to try the coconut and the original, So those are the two next ones on my list. I personally don't think the skin tint is worth it. I don't think it does much for your skin. I think if you need to have that sheer of an amount of color on your skin, I just don't think you do. Either have moisturizer and use concealer or use a foundation. I think the kind of in between doesn't make sense to me personally, but if you love it, please comment down below why and how you use it and things like that. For me, I just don't like the all over foundation kind of look. I like spot concealing more. The Glossier Stretch Concealer, 100% this product is worth it. I think it gives a beautiful amount of coverage. The dewiness to this product is gorgeous, and it definitely doesn't dry down. You're still gonna have that kind of dewy look on the skin, but it blends out beautifully. It gives a good amount of coverage. It really covers up my dark circles and just makes everything look really, really natural. It just makes my skin and my under eye look like my skin, but better, which I think is amazing. I like it a lot more than even my Wet n Wild concealer. My Colourpop concealer, like this compared to the Colourpop concealer is like night and day. Like that one is so much coverage, where for me, I get a little bit uncomfortable with that much coverage since I'm not wearing foundation. So if you're someone who likes more full coverage, I don't think this is for you. But if you're curious and you want a more lightweight concealer that's gonna give you a good amount of coverage for summertime, this is the one to go with. I really wanna get my mom hooked on these because I think she would love them. Same with my sister. They're really good. The Wowder, this is kind of a product that it's for you or it's not. This powder for me is my favorite powder I've ever tried, and I've used the Laura Mercier, I've used the Coty Airspun, you name it, the Tarte one. I've used a lot of powders, and for me, I love this because it gives myself a little bit of a sheen. Like, it's not a completely translucent powder, so I get a little bit of a wash of color, which for someone like me who wears no foundation, I really, really like that. I feel like it sets my under eye absolutely beautifully, but my skin still kind of has that like dewy glow to it, even though I've used this to set my face. I'll even show you guys, since I did go in with the Rosewater spray, you can see I do have that glowiness. But all you gotta do is just pick up the tiniest bit of powder and just put it right on that area. And you'll see now it's mattified, but it still has that glow. Whereas this side, it's like really glowy. This side is a little bit more kind of a satin finish. So I just find it works really well, but it does not weigh down your skin, and it does not give you that flat matte look that pretty much all powders give you. Like the Coty Airspun makes you look flat matte. This one does not. So I love the Wowder. The Wowder is like my staple. I repurchased this a million times, and currently I am not and will not be looking for another powder because I haven't been able to put this down since I got it last August. Watch my channel. You'll see it's true. I like the cloud paints. If you like cream blushes, these are really great. They look beautiful. They give a nice wash to the skin. I do wish they had a bronzer one. I think I would like the bronzer more than blush. The hard part for me is I love the ease of a powder blush. I just feel like you can kind of flip it and buff it onto the skin with a brush, whereas with this you got to be really, really careful with kind of your application and where you put the product. It's just a little bit more tedious with a cream product. I think their cloud paints are great. I think the blendability, the color selection, they just released a couple more shades. It's gorgeous and it looks beautiful on all skin tones. But I wish they'd release a bronzer. I'd love to try that out. But I don't reach for this on a daily basis. Like, it's not a bad product, but I just don't reach for it. I find the ease of powder blush just works a little bit better. But whenever I do use it, like, it really gives a really beautiful wash of color to the cheeks. I almost could have gone in with a heavier hand on it. What's cool, you guys just saw me apply powder. You can put these on top of powder and they blend beautifully. So it's one of those products where they're so easy to use, and oh my gosh, every time I use this, it just looks so pretty and it lasts a good amount of time on the face. Do I think you need the cloud paint? No. Do I think you'd like it if you had it in your collection? Yes. When it comes to brows and highlight, I wish I could give their Boy Brow a chance, but unfortunately I don't have enough brow hairs to really use. Like, I've used a kind of brow gel, tinted brow gel before, but it's just really hard with my brows because they're so dang skinny. I just perform better with a pencil, like they just look better. But I have really pale brows and they don't have a shade that's light enough for me. which I know you guys, I'm saying it. I'm a pale white girl on YouTube saying there's a shade that's not light enough for me for my eyebrows. High maintenance. If they had a blonde shade that was like bleach blonde, maybe that would work. Or maybe a shade that's about this color, but their blonde is just a little bit too dark for me. And when it comes to their stick highlight, I gotta tell you guys, I'm not a huge fan of stick highlights. So for me, I haven't wanted to pick one up because even this Hourglass one, which is really beautiful, I just find doesn't really last on the skin and kind of blends out. And that's kind of the same feeling I had from their Haloscope when I tried it in store. I found that ones from Colourpop work a little bit better and last a little bit longer. I think even compared to powders, these ones from Colourpop just give the most natural highlight that really lasts all freaking day because it's kind of like that cream to powder finish. So it doesn't look powdery, but it doesn't look too creamy. It's just like the perfect blend. So I haven't given Haloscope a try for that reason. Same with Lidstar. I don't think Lidstar is worth it to pick up because it's literally a cream eyeshadow in a lipstick tube. And you just, even on their models, they show you having to reapply multiple times. It just seems like a lot of work when frankly you could go in with a small brush and your bronzer or even the cloud paint and get a wash of color, which kind of has already faded, to be honest. I don't really know where it went. Let's see, what's next? I love the Lash Slick. I think this mascara is so natural and gorgeous. It lasts a really long time and it layers beautifully upon itself. I just think it's a really, really pretty mascara and it's become a staple for me. I really enjoy this. This is the kind of mascara that I like. I don't really like super clumpy, voluminous mascara. I like mascara that looks like my lashes, but better. So this one is perfect for me and I love it. If you don't like mascara like this, that gives you this kind of natural, separated look, this isn't for you and you shouldn't pick it up. But if you like it, you should go for it. And then when it comes to the Generation G lipsticks, I don't think these are worth it. I don't like how it feels on my lips. I feel like it really, like if you have any dry patches on your lips, you can really see it, even if you go down with a Balm Dotcom. And this shade Leo is just not for me. I'm not a huge fan of it. I just think the shade is just not very good, so maybe I need to try a different shade in these. But I wish they had a more purple toned nude, and they don't really. So maybe if they release more shades, I'd love to try this again, but for now, I would say the Generation G lipstick is a pass. So that is it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed my full face of Glossier. I apologize, there were a couple products that I don't have in my collection, but I hope that I gave a reasonable enough explanation as to why I haven't picked those up and kind of gave you guys more of an idea of what the Glossier brand is like, how I use it, what I think of it, and what I would recommend. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this from me, just click right here. Make sure you stick around by subscribing, give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time on my channel. Bye, y'all.